everyone, I'm Jessica Stutzman and welcome back to the Millcreek Government Channel. LEAF, the Lake Erie Arboretum at Frontier, is a tree museum that serves as the nonprofit partner for Frontier Park, a public City of Erie park. This park is home to over 1,000 trees, a collection that grows in interest and diversity each year. We have two very special guests joining us today from this organization, Rosa Fatika Showers, who is the Director of Programs, and Jamie Keim, the Director of Projects and Design. Jamie, thank you so much for joining me here in the studio today.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Well, we have, of course, a lot going on every day, and LEAF does so much wonderful work. But right now, COVID has really affected everybody and really hit the nonprofits hard. So I was just wondering, how has the pandemic affected LEAF's business model?
It's just totally flipped it upside down. All of our regularly scheduled programs and events are all just on hold. We've been super COVID safe. We've been working hard on new initiatives like a tree planting project and an open market that we've been hosting. That's been a really great thing for the community.
What is LEAF's open market?
So LEAF's Open Market is a collection of local vendors. We have fresh produce, local bakeries, honey, local oils and vinegars. We have fresh juices like the Juice Jar Comes, plants from Auburn's. It's kind of a collection of local businesses all selling their goods in the park. It's a really awesome event.
How did you get the businesses involved and who's going to show up?
Yeah, so we kind of just started with cold calling a couple of people wondering if they'd be interested in the first place. And then the health department actually kind of got word that we were thinking of doing it. And they called us and said, please do this. It's such a safe, way for everyone to grocery shop outdoors. And then it kind of just spiraled from there. So
I just love this idea. I love open markets. First of all, the Frontier Park is such a picturesque place. So I'm really excited about it too. What kind of turnout have you seen at the market?
Yeah, so we had, I think the first couple of times, maybe like 300 people over a 4-hour period. The last market we had about 450 people come. But that being said, it's so spread out and so COVID friendly and everyone's totally socially distant and we require masks, and for the most part everyone's been really, really welcoming to that. So.
Wonderful. And do you find it hard? Because I know as an organizer for an event like this, I would have a hard time not spending a lot of money at every open market event. Is there something that makes your market unique compared to the other types of open markets that we see around town?
I'd say just that we've really handpicked the people we wanted to be there. It's, like I said, it's all local. It's just a really awesome vibe. Everyone's really happy and really kind to each other. And every customer comes through and is like, thank you so much for doing this. I had nothing to do this Saturday since COVID shut everything else down. So it's been nice.
Is there plenty of parking available around the park?
Sort of, yeah. I think some people have had to park a little bit farther away than they'd like, but for the most part, we've just been trying to keep everybody away from using Romelo's and the Green Garden Plaza's parking spots. So
yeah, and that's okay. We can walk a little bit too. Yeah. We're getting used to that with COVID here. Did you have an inspiration that made you think, you know what, we really need to hold this here? Was there something that inspired you to do so?
I lived in New York City for quite a long time, and there was just always, every park had something like this every weekend. And I think most people who have lived outside of Erie have had these kind of things available to them all the time. So moving back here and working for LEAF, I was like, this is a really unique opportunity for me to start something, obviously with Rose's help as well, and Vern, our director. So just inspiration from other cities.
And one question I don't want to forget to ask, payment. Are we allowed to bring credit cards? Should we bring cash? What's the idea?
Yeah, so that's up to each vendor. I think most of them take credit cards. Some are only cash. A lot of them take contactless payment actually, so you can use Venmo or PayPal, which is actually nice because then that's less, one-on-one transactions, touching. So yeah.
And Jamie, I just again want to introduce our audience to you. Where did you come from as far as your background and what made you want to begin working at LEAF?
Yeah, so I grew up in Erie, and then I moved to New York City when I was 18 for college. Lived there for almost 7 years, and then did one brief weird year in Florida. And then I sort of ended up in Erie without warning. It was kind of a random situation. I ended up at home and was thinking, oh, I could move to Pittsburgh or Cleveland or maybe back to New York. And I just thought, no, I'm going to make the best of my time here in Erie. Erie has a lot to offer. It's super beautiful, and a lot of really great people. And then Leaf kind of fell in my lap, and I was just immediately excited. Like nature, community, art, all of it is all up my alley. So.
Yeah, and is that your background?
Yeah, I've been a graphic designer for a long time.
Wonderful. Well, that's fantastic. Thank you so much, and I appreciate you making the introduction. I want our viewers to know a friendly face when they do get to the open market. So I want to thank you so much. Is there any other thoughts or tidbits that you want to leave our viewers with before we switch and we meet Rosa?
No, I don't think so. I would just encourage everyone to go to the park as much as possible. It's so beautiful. Even in the winter months when we get a lot of snow, it's beautiful. I know that we're all kind of stir crazy with COVID, so I just can't stress enough. Going outside, Frontier Park is just prime right now. And if you go past the office, wave to us because we're always in there behind the windows. So yeah,
Yes, thank you so much. And COVID does make it a weird year, but thank you so much for everything you're doing and getting us back out into the community. I know I really appreciate it, and I'm really excited to attend some of the upcoming open markets. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Viewers, I'd now like to introduce you to Rosa Fatika Showers. She is the Director of Programs, as I mentioned earlier. And Rosa, I just want to thank you for being here with us today. Jamie just went over the open markets with us. And what I want to know is what other projects have you been working on in and around the park?
Right. Thank you so much for having us today. So we are an education center. So we have been working really hard to find a creative way to educate both children and adults through this time. Like Jamie said, we have postponed all of our regular programs that we would have. Typically in the summer, we have children participating in all different sorts of camps and things. So we've really had to shift what we're doing. So right now, the project that we're working on is called Relief, and it's a tree planting initiative that was sort of the idea of John Vanko, who is one of our board members, and he saw a need for trees to be planted in Erie County, and so he came to us as a board member and said, this is a project that I'd like to work on with you all. So that has really been our primary focus. The goal and mission of Relief is to plant 275,000 new trees all across Erie County. We have a goal to do that in 5 years, but we are also understanding of that goal may not be reached in 5 years. We're, just hoping to get this project up and running this year. But that number, 275,000 trees, correlates to how many people live in Erie County. So what we want to do with this project is just show people that planting a tree is something very easy that anyone can do to help combat and global warming and climate change. So that has been our primary focus. We're working with a great group of volunteers. Some are board members. A lot are just people around the community, names that many people would know. Doreen Petrie, who's from the City of Erie School District, Sister Pat Lupo, some of our other board members like Vern Peterson, who's our executive director. So we've really just been working on getting that initiative started. And my focus and Jamie's focus has been that education portion. So how we can teach children about planting trees and the importance of doing so.
I've done a lot of tree plantings in my
Wonderful.
time. Yes,
Maybe you can come help us.
I would love to come help you. I've worked through the Tree Vitalize grant.
Oh, wonderful.
I'm the recycling coordinator, and we work with Parks and Recreation to do so.
Okay.
Do you have grant funding for this, or are donations needed?
So both are needed. Right now, I know that we have just applied and received a grant through the Penn State Extension. So we have 20 bare root trees donated to us. Some are going to be planted at the park, some will be planted in the city, and we're also working with the Benedictine Sisters Neighborhood Art House. And so we're going to be going and teaching some lessons and then planting some of those trees with the students there. But yes, donations are needed. We're working on grants, sponsorship, and volunteers. That's our biggest thing. At this time, we have not rolled out this project to the public yet, but when we do, if you go to our website, it's relieferie.org. There's a lot of opportunities to volunteer, to even volunteer space. So if you have a space where you'd like to plant trees, we can plant them anywhere in the county, so not just Frontier Park or a park, anywhere.
That's wonderful. I know
Yes.
through some of our Tree Vitalize grants, whenever we're planning a plan to plant these trees, when we hit about 50 trees, that's when we become exhausted. That's a lot of time, that's a lot of hours, that's a lot of volunteers. So you guys definitely have your work cut
We
out
do.
doing 275,000 trees.
Right.
That's incredible.
And I didn't mention, but through First Energy, we are hoping to have a donation of 500 tree saplings, and those we'd like to plant this year, and primarily with schools and families and education groups. Right now, the challenge is just figuring out how to do that safely. So whether it's virtually or going to a school and just working, in the outdoor space, and students could watch us, via Zoom or something, planting the tree. So we're trying to be as creative as we can and just provide a hands-on experience for children right now. Everyone is figuring this out, and we just want to do it as safe as possible, but also provide that outdoor hands-on experience for children.
Yes, and we did a show maybe a month or two ago, and we were talking about nature deficit disorder, because a lot of children, again, I think regularly, but then also due to the pandemic, are really cooped up inside, and through no fault of their own, they're really just sometimes stuck in front of a TV. And I think getting them out in nature and planting trees, it eases tension, eases stress. It makes everybody more focused. So
Yes,
I think those are wonderful things to tackle.
It really does. Jamie will say, midday, we should go take a walk through the park, because right now, since we're not doing all of our programs, we're primarily in the office. So it always helps just to be outside, and it really is amazing the amount of people using the park right now. We have a really great team that works on keeping the park beautiful. Jerry, our director, Vern, is out there every day, one of our board members, Paul, and it's just amazing the care that they give to the park, and I think that the community really does see that, and that's why they come back.
And where can our viewers tune in to learn more information about Relief?
So our website, it's relieferie.org. We'll also have an Instagram page. If you go to our Leaf website, we have a Facebook page and Instagram as well for Leaf. That's where we'll be sharing information on those things. So.
And with and just getting back to Leaf's overall mission, I know again COVID has changed everything. Do you foresee with, I know you guys held the baby yoga classes and art classes and wonderful Mother's and Father's Day events.
Yes.
Do you think you'll see those going virtual, or hopefully maybe back in person, but everybody's spaced out and outside? What's your vision for the future?
My hope would be that we can get people back to the park in a safe way. With our adult education, I think we're going to start there, being that they are adults, and it will be a little bit easier to keep them safe and spread out. I was a kindergarten teacher, so I know how difficult it is to keep a little ones spread out and safe. But we would really like to see people come back. We're just, like Jamie said, we're being as safe as possible, and we don't want to cause any sort of situation where someone could be sick or, but if we could do it virtually too, that would be wonderful. So.
Absolutely. And you guys, like I said, do such great things. I'm so excited about this tree endeavor here. You have a really neat 60-second promo spot.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about what went into that?
Yes. So we are very grateful to have Tom Ridge endorse this project. Our former governor, he has always been a wonderful supporter of Frontier Park, and so he was able to come to the park and plant a tree with some children. And he just, while he was governor, we were able to plant, I think, 1,200 trees. And so the fact that we have his support on this project is really wonderful. And so we appreciate that.
And we're going to have a little promo spot for that as well. Is there anything else you wanted to mention to our viewers today? Again, like I said, I know a lot of the nonprofits were hurt financially. Is there anything, again, financially or just backing you and following you on social media and just watching closely the events you're going to hold? But is there anything else you want to share with our viewers or let us know how we can help?
Right. I would just thank everyone for your support so far, and as even just supporting us by taking a photo while you're at the park and tagging us on Instagram, and showing people the wonderful opportunities there are to explore. I recently just for the first time sat in the winter garden that we have at Frontier Park, and I didn't even realize it was there. I'm from Erie, this is where I grew up and just recently moved back. But there's just a lot of amazing things to experience there, and I would just encourage everyone to go to the park and explore.
And I'm so glad you're on board with LEAF. Rosa, what made you want to join the team at LEAF?
Right, so my background is in education, so as director of programs, primarily, when coming into LEAF, that was my role, was to be an educator for their programs. But I've just always had a passion for serving, and so not being in the classroom, I wanted to find something where I could serve the community, and LEAF has really allowed me to do that in a different way while still being a teacher in some ways. So.
Well, I can definitely, that comes across with your personality. So I'm so glad you're back in town, and I'm glad you're with the nonprofit LEAF. And I just want to thank you again for, just plugging through during the pandemic. Again, the community really appreciates the park and everything you guys do for us. So thank you so much for being here today.
Yes, thank you so much, Jessica.
Viewers, again, we have learned about some really, really neat projects, the open air market, the Relief project. We have been cooped up inside a little bit too long now. I encourage you to go to the park and to support the nonprofit. Go to their website and to plant a tree this fall, and it will make a huge difference again for the children and for generations to come. So thank you for tuning into the Millcreek Government Channel, and until next time, have a great day.
Hi, I'm Tom Ridge. During the time I was privileged to serve as your governor of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, the Lake Erie Arboretum at Frontier Park planted over 1,200 trees. They've got a new initiative. It's called Relief. They've got a new goal, 275,000 trees countywide. And with your support and the support of environmental groups, businesses, schools, families and children, we'll get the job done.
Excuse me, Governor. The children need your help planting the tree.
I'd like to share this final thought. We as citizens don't inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children. So it's our job to make sure that the environment tomorrow is at least as good as it is today. With your help, we can make that happen in Erie County. Join the Relief effort. Plant a tree. It's quite a legacy for your children and your grandchildren. To find out how you can help, visit relieferie.org.